Digimon have announced their action RPG Crumbling World will be launching on May 21st. Those who can't wait to try out the game can pick up the demo that is now available on Steam and serves as an open beta. Players will get to try out the Knight class while taking on Mathis. The title is a dark fantasy RPG set in the decomposing land. Through the 5 regions, travel through 25 seamless procedurally generated levels as the world falls away beneath your feet. The game allows you to choose your preferred combat class against an onslaught of corrupted enemies as you level and upgrade your abilities. Crumbling World has 7 characters to choose from with 5 different classes, take on a variety of enemies that include over 40 types. Crumbling World will release on May 21st on PC. You can check out the demo via Steam now. As E3 2020 got cancelled, there were some disruptions to plans, and according to a Nico Partners analyst, so did the plans for the reveals for both Sony and Microsoft. In a tweet, Nico Partners analyst David Ahmed explained how some reveals were planned for much earlier, but will now happen much later. According to this tweet, the first proper next-gen console games showcase was actually supposed to happen much earlier than what is planned now. Adding to the rumor, the website VGC claims to support this tweet by sharing that the PlayStation 5 reveal was recently set for May. Microsoft also had plans for reveals in May and were to hold an additional E3 digital showcase. It doesn't specify what kind of reveals Microsoft were to make, whether games release date of the Xbox Series X or something else. Both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are planned for release this holiday season. You can now get a taste of ESO Plus for The Elder Scrolls Online with a free trial that runs from now until April 27th, 10 AM EDT. This means you can try out any of the DLC game packs for free for a limited time only. The latest downloadable content, Harrowstorm, is the beginning of the year-long adventure into the dark heart of Skyrim, adding 2 of the latest dungeons, Icereach and Unhallowed Grave. If you haven't checked them out, now you can. Icereach introduces the Witch Coven and Unhallowed Grave has some fun grappling mechanics not to be missed. While ESO Plus isn't mandatory for players to enjoy the game, it can be super helpful as it comes with a craft pack to store all your materials, increased experience, access to all DLCs and more. In other ESO news, the PTS for the next expansion Greymore went up this week, meaning you can check out the edition before it releases this May, including the revamped vampire skill line that has had a bit of a change up. If you're curious to check out these changes, you can find them on our Elder Scrolls Online wiki. Square Enix announces the jaw-dropping amount of copies shipped in the first 3 days of the launch of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. In just the first 3 days of the launch of the highly anticipated Final Fantasy VII Remake in both digital and physical copies, it shipped 3 million. This news was shared via the English Final Fantasy VII Remake Twitter account, which shared an image of the iconic Buster Sword wielded by main character Cloud. Final Fantasy VII Remake retells the story of the original but adds some further scenes, expanding on the original, and also gives combat a bit of a shake-up, stepping away from the original turn-based combat system, concentrating on action. If you're curious to find out what we thought of the title, be sure to check out next Final Fantasy VII Remake Review 30 going on 13. The first upcoming downloadable content for the action RPG Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is arriving on April 28th, called A New Power Awakens Part 1. This DLC will be part of the game's Season Pass. The Season Pass includes 2 original episodes and 1 new story. Players will be able to unlock the Super Saiyan God Vegeta and Super Saiyan God Goku transformations to use throughout the main story. The news also came with a few screenshots which were shared on the official Bandai Namco US Twitter account. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLC A New Power Awakens Part 1 releases on April 28th exclusively with the Season Pass, which is available for $24.99 on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. You can now grab the challenging Igavania title for 40% off on Steam, now $23.99 until April 27th. Bloodstained Ritual The Night follows the story of the protagonist Miriam, an orphan who is afflicted by an alchemist's curse. This devastating curse is slowly transforming her skin into crystal. In order to reverse the effects of the curse, she must enter a demon-infested castle and locate a summoner named Jubal. Experience exploration, crafting, leveling, and even upgrading abilities with shards. Abilities range from shooting arrows to summoning a giant tentacle to strike at your foes. Create weapons from materials you loot or items you dismantle. Grab the deal while you can, as it will be ending soon. Digimon Survive, the SRPG, was supposed to release sometime in 2020, but now its release date has changed to unspecified according to the latest Famitsu magazine. Well, actually it turns out that this was a typo and the game is still on track according to Gametsu. In the weekly Famitsu magazine on May 7th, 2020 issue, which released in Japan on April 23rd, it showcases a list of upcoming announced games with their release info. In that list, the upcoming Digimon Survive, which had an unspecified release date, but it turns out this was a mistake. Bandai Namco have confirmed that Digimon Survive is still on track for 2020. Digimon Survive plans to release in 2020. Outside Japan, the game will launch on PC via Steam, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Perfect World Entertainment and Extra Games have shared a closer look at the new Fort system, which is coming with Torchlight 3. In Torchlight 3, players will have access to forts, a place where they can build and customize their very own fortress. Here you can leave your mark, personalizing it with treasure that have been crafted by your own hand or earned in combat. Forts are also a place to meet up with friends, progress your characters, and swap out skills as well as armor sets. Fortresses have also been announced by Extra to be account-wide, meaning you won't have to have a separate one for each character. Torchlight 3 is set to launch sometime on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in 2020, with a beta on the way as well. Capcom have released the Monster Hunter World Iceborne title update version 13.50 this week, which is now available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. This includes the addition of monsters Master Rank Kulve-Taroth and Arch-Tempered Namielle. Both of these are added as part of the event quests for a limited time only. The Eternal Gold Rush for Kulve-Taroth, which is available now, and the Distant Dark Tide for Arch-Tempered Namielle starting May 1st. System updates also include an increased number of weapons that can use layered weapons feature, increased bases, parts for layered weapons, new pendants, and more. Well, that's it for the week in the wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.